me show you the future.
Yo guys, what's going on? Your boy Life of Rio here, and I'm going to be bringing you guys episode 5 of what makes this Warframe great. I'm going to be giving you guys a build, a breakdown, and how I like to use the frame, and just my overall general idea of what makes Vauban great. Now, Mr. Vauban, Mr. Alfred, Mr. Commissioner Gordon, Mr. I Done Stole Batman's Belt, Mr. Inspector Gadget is just all around an amazing frame. He is amazing. One of the top CC frames in the game since his release date. He has been amazing. He has always held his position. Never really fell from being one of the strongest CC frames in the game. He's actually just gotten better. And DE before his release actually tweaked it to where he had got his second ability changed to an Ivara effect to where he can switch it between it. Basically Batman's utility belt. And the first ability which Vauban carries is Tesla. Tesla does a little lightning effect, shoots out his energy. I mean, it's a cool ability, not much to really go into it. It's not nothing groundbreaking that's going to save you. It's just fun to see sometimes. If you got extra energy to spare, you're going to use it. It's just cool. Tesla is really, it's just a chill first ability. I mean, it's a first, it's not terrible. His second ability, which is called Batman's Utility Belt, aka Mind Layer, now comes with 4 effects to it. And the cool thing about it is that it has a concussion grenade, which basically does what it, well, concussion kind of radiates them. Well, that's exactly what it does. It radiates them. I was thinking for a second that concussion kind of speaks for itself, but it doesn't give them a headache or nothing. It just radiates them. The next part of his second ability is a shred grenade. Then you have a trip laser, and you have his famous bounce ability. Now, out of the 4, I'm not going to lead you guys on. You're not going to use all the 4 unless you're just joking around having fun. Trip laser is nothing that you're going to use over his third and his fourth unless you want to have fun. The 2 that I would definitely say that you probably switch between is shred and the concussion grenade. Personally, for me, concussion is the strongest out of the 4. It's the best because it synergizes well with all of his other abilities, and as you guys can see, that's what I'm using, that I'm just throwing down. And the cool thing about Vauban is that you can use all of his abilities while flipping through the air, spinning, doesn't matter, rolling, which makes him cool. And you can also use all of his abilities while reloading because he only takes one hand to throw it, which gives you versatility to keep going so you don't have to stop and get hit, which makes your survivability higher in the end, right? Now before I go into any more, I'm definitely going to get ready to show you guys the build, because on this build I'm not really going to have any power strength. Now let's take a look at it, because this is going to be a one form of build. Vauban doesn't really need power strength. Yes, it says that you need power strength for how many people that you can hold, but this one is going to be more of a spamming build with a crazy amount of range with no power strength, but I have high survivability, right? My survivability is really high. The reason why I go for high survivability is because you guys know solo play, you're gonna need to survive. I went up to an hour plus while taking shots and rockets without getting one-shotted, and the reason for that is because I'm using quick thinking, and I'm comboing quick thinking with prime flow. Now my prime flow is 1 from the top. I always keep it 1 from the top. It takes me to 600 energy. So the way how it works, guys, is that if you mix prime flow, which gives you 600 energy, with quick thinking, you now have a crazy amount of survivability. So my health is primarily 740 because of vitality. So you add 740 with 600, basically is the number that you're supposed to be getting, is around 1340. Now the really cool thing about that is that gives you high chance of survivability, and I mix that together with Xeneric focus school, which keeps giving me my energy back over time, which makes my survivability way stronger. And I have meta ray on shade, which makes it way harder for me to die. And the fact that Vauban can just be so mobile through the air while using all of his abilities makes it very hard to die. Even though he is supposed to be squishy, he's kinda not. Alright, now the really cool thing, let's get into it. His third ability, which is called Bastille. Bastille is one of his most known abilities since he's been primarily released, because he always make enemies hold up with the Jesus stance. No disrespect to any religious people out there, but it's really cool, very strong CC. And now since I have no power strength on this, what's gonna happen is that I won't be able to hold as much people, but I have repelling Bastille, which means whoever I'm not holding up cannot enter the radius of my Bastille, period. And I have a crazy amount of range, so I'm keeping a lot of people out. So to hold more people, I just keep spamming Bastille and I lock down, so that's why he doesn't need power strength. Now my fourth ability, which is called Vortex, as you guys can see, very strong ability, was one of the most known glitched abilities in the game because it used to just crash games. For some people it's still doing some weird circumstances, but it's primarily just amazing CC. He pull enemies in, he ragdolls them, and then they can't do anything. They can't shoot back, they're trying to stand up, they can't do nothing, but all it is that you just get a clear shot on how to wreck all of those enemies. Now with his second ability, back to going back to concussion, the thing about Vauban is at first, before Vauban got concussion, he can be shot and killed by long distance enemies that were not close to his abilities, and he was really squishier back then because he didn't have the amount of power that he did now. Now the thing about that is the way how to cancel getting shot or sniped from long distance is if you use Vortex, combo Vortex with concussion, and what happened is that you're gonna radiate the enemies, and if you radiate those enemies that are now new enemies that are coming in will not focus you. They will definitely try to kill the enemies that are radiated. Enemies that are also radiated can go into Nullifier's bubbles and fight the Nullifier for you. So you will always want to combo concussion with all of your abilities. If you use it with his 3, use it with his 1, use it with other 2s, use it with his 4. It's just an amazing ability. I actually went an hour plus with just using concussion and no other ability, and it's just phenomenal because any ability that lets you go in and fight the Nullifiers, and it debuffs Ancient. So what a lot of people would like to know is that, what do you mean it debuffs Ancient? When Ancient put the buff around their allies, if they're radiated, they're now against the other player. I mean, they're now against their own enemy, which means they do not give them the buff which of what they had, which makes it easier for you to kill enemies. So overall, it's an amazing ability. Overall, Vauban is fantastic. His strongest faction has always been Infested, and it will forever be Infested. He just punks Infested. His worst faction, I would say, is definitely Corpus, but the cool thing is that his new kit kind of makes him fight Corpus a little bit better, so he's like all around balance if you use him correctly. Vauban is just a fantastic frame. He costs a lot to be built, so if you guys don't have him, definitely let me know. If you do have him, you guys remember my last video when I was raging with Vauban. Now I'm kind of happy I have him. See right here, I was just using Trip Laser because I was using concussion with all of the CC, and I was just having a little Vauban playground. But overall, he's one of the top CC Warframes in the game. He's just overall amazing. I will definitely rate Vauban on a CC level almost basically a 10 out of 10. Like, he doesn't have any weakness when it comes to CC. As a survivability frame with doing everything else and you trying to make it, not based off my playstyle, but just overall general concept, I will definitely give him a 9 out of 10. I would tie him with Saren because overall, even though Vauban has better CC than Saren and crazy amount of just usability of what he can do with his powers and versatility, even though I gave Saren a 9, they're different frames for different aspects, so they add up for each other because Saren stack with the amount of damage, which Vauban doesn't give the damage, but he gives ridiculous CC. So I want to thank you guys so much. Give this video a Vortex thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the next Warframe video. You guys are amazing, and I really hope that this breakdown helps you guys. Definitely try to get Vauban, and he's amazing if you can, you know, get used to his playstyle. So I'll definitely catch you guys on